In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a multi-rig. Take a small section of shrink tubing and using a baiting needle, a few mil in from the end, you want to poke through to make a hole. We'll come back to this component soon. Using your chosen hook link, we want to strip off about 5 or 6 inches of the coating. Now, as closest to the break in the coating as possible, make yourself a figure of 8 knot. A figure of 8 knot consists of a loop, a twist, and then passing the tag end back through both of the loops that you've just made. When you pull it tight, you'll see it creates the shape of an 8. Now you can cut off your tag end. Now going back to your shrink tube, enter from the opposite end with your baiting needle, and what we're now going to do, we're going to take the D section and slide the tubing down towards the figure of 8 loop, and just hold it there for a minute. Now pass the D section back through the eye of the hook. Once it's through, we can get the shrink tube and just nip it over the bottom of the eye of the hook. At this point, you can use either a micro ring swivel or a bait screw. Once you've threaded it on, you can pass the D section around the shank of the hook, underneath, and then pull it tight over the top to create your D. Now you can take an anti-tangle sleeve and thread that onto your hook link. Once it's on, you can slide it down to the base near to where the hook is. Now we're going to create a figure of 8 loop. To do this, all you have to do is create a small loop, as I've just shown, twist that loop 180 degrees, and then pass your tag end back through the loop. Once it's through, pull it nice and tight, and you can see, again, it creates another figure of 8. Before cinching down your knots, don't forget you should always moisten them. Now we can cut off your tag end, slide up your anti-tangle sleeve back to the loop, and now it's time to attach your bait. As I'm using a micro ring swivel, I'm going to be using bait floss. After sliding down the pop-up from the baiting needle, I'm going to push it down just onto the base of the ring swivel itself. Now it's time to cut off the excess floss. And carefully with the lighter, we're just going to blob down the end, and that's going to secure our bait in place on the rig. Now, carefully using some steam, we're going to shrink down the shrink tubing. Just before it cools, we're going to add a small curve just to create a kicker. So we're nearly done. The last thing to do is grab a small amount of putty and roll it around the figure of 8 knot that we made earlier. And that's it, you're done, you're ready to go. Give the multi-rig a try, and don't forget to drop me a follow.